Anybody out there remember the show Get Smart? You know, it's about spies. It's like a spy parody show. Sort of a spoof on the James Bond movies. Get Smart. It's about Maxwell Smart, Agent 86, works for the spy agency Control, fighting against the agents of chaos. Yeah, it ran from like 1965 to 1969. Well, in 1980, 10 years after the show had completed its original run, they made a movie. And what was it called? Well, would you believe? The Nude Bomb? Okay, so Get Smart. I remember watching it when I was a kid and thinking it was pretty funny. Maxwell Smart, he's kind of like a bumbling idiot, kind of detective, well, secret agent rather. Maxwell Smart would go into a phone booth, and then suddenly he'd drop down into the phone booth and he'd come out and he'd have to go through all these like doors and stuff to get into the secret lair of the secret spy organization of Control. It's very iconic. It had an iconic theme song. If you haven't heard of this show or know anything about what I'm talking about, I'm surprised, because late 70s, early 80s, everybody knew what it was because it was one of the most popular shows in the late 60s that got rerun in syndication and whatever and played all throughout the 70s and 80s. That being said, by the time they got around to making a movie, the show had been off the air for like 10 years already. I mean, they got back the main star. They got Don Adams back. Don Adams, in case you didn't know, is also the voice of Inspector Gadget. You know, Inspector Gadget. Come on, people. Keep up here. Yeah, so they got him back, but they couldn't get back the lady that played Agent 99, an actress called Barbara Feldon. For whatever reason, they never even asked her to come back and make this movie. In the show, the two of them were partners, and, you know, he's the idiotic one. He's always getting into trouble, but he somehow always lands on his feet. And Agent 99, whose real name we never actually found out, was his partner, and she's always bailing him out of trouble, and the one that really solves the cases. They were a duo, and they even actually got married in the show. But no, they didn't bring her back for this. They decided they wanted to retool the premise. I guess that's the thing. They changed so much stuff as compared to the TV show that it just came out just not funny.
Missed it by that much.
And I guess they were going for like the James Bond angle, like, you know, how James Bond has several girlfriends in each movie. And so they wanted to do that here with Maxwell Smart. And it just seemed wrong. And it's like a comedy. And this freaking idiot, like, just fumbles at everything. And you're going to give him all these sexy girlfriends and stuff? Like, it's dumb. And there is a bunch of sex jokes in it and stuff, and also it's called The Nude Bomb. And you don't see any actual nudity, except for maybe somebody's bare butt or something, I don't know. Yeah, it was like rated PG or something like that. Anyway, the reason it's called The Nude Bomb is because, well, Maxwell Smart, you know, he's the super spy. He is assigned to stop agents of chaos from producing a bomb which destroys clothing. Doesn't affect the people wearing the clothing other than taking all their clothes away, making people naked. So you could drop a bomb in the middle of a football stadium, suddenly everybody's naked. The players, the crowd, everybody. Now why in the hell would you want to invent a bomb like this? Well, so that chaos, or agents of chaos, basically they want to corner the clothing and designer clothing market by eliminating everybody's clothes, so everybody has to buy clothing from them, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it is a dumb movie. It's a dumb freaking spy parody movie. Well, it's not really that funny either. I remember watching the show when I was a kid, and I used to laugh at Agent 86. And he had his catchphrases, stuff like, you know, he'd get bonked on the head or something, or he'd fall, or something like that, and he would say, "Missed it by that much." And another one of his catchphrases was, "Would you believe blank?" And then like some ridiculous premise or something as he's trying to lie or cover up for something. And another famous catchphrase was,
Sorry about that, Chief.
because he's always screwing up and somehow the chief like gets hurt or embarrassed. Or I mean, I watched this thing and throughout the entire runtime, I think I had a couple of Snickers here and there. Not the candy bars, but you know, like actual, like, you know, a bit of a laugh, almost a laugh, but not quite a laugh. You know, I raised the corner of my mouth a couple times, but that's it. Like, this is, I mean, first of all, we're talking about a TV show from the 60s. Well, of course, this is 1980, this came out, but the jokes were old and tired even then when they hit the big screen. Like, maybe it's because I wasn't a little kid watching this. Maybe if I had seen it in the theater in 1980, I would have laughed, but I just didn't really find it all that funny. There's a few like kind of neat little gags and stuff that happen. There's like a point where Maxwell Smart is driving his desk down the street in Los Angeles, and they actually built like the prop of this like desk that you could drive. I mean, that was kind of stupid. It didn't really give me a laugh, but it was interesting. There's like the doubles, like clones at one point in the movie. That scene's kind of neat and it's kind of well done. There's a few tropes that they brought from the show that they bring back to mixed results. Like, for instance, there's one scene where they bring back the cone of silence.
Well, if it's top secret, sir, then we should use the cone of silence.
The people that are under the cone of silence, like this plastic shield or whatever, is supposed to shield the outside world from hearing what they're gonna say. But meanwhile, they can't understand each other while they're under this cone of silence, so it kind of totally defeats the purpose. So, then there's always the agent that he always pops up inside of things with like secret messages for Maxwell Smart. Like, for instance, he'll be in a mailbox or phone booth, or some cases like a dryer or washing machine or something like that. In this one, I distinctly remember he pops his head out of a toilet or a little tiny little cupboard. Now that's something that used to happen on the show all the time, but it also happened on Inspector Gadget all the time. I mean, remember in Inspector Gadget where the chief would like, he would have a message for him or whatever, and he'd be like inside a mailbox or something like that, and Inspector Gadget would read the self-destructing message and he would throw it back in the mailbox and blow up the chief every single time. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the guy's there with the secret messages or whatever, but they don't have the exploding message thing. That was actually from Mission Impossible. Oh, and the villain in this movie, pretty ridiculous. It's a guy wearing like pantyhose on his face, and he's got this full leotard on, and he's got thimbles on his fingers. He's supposed to be the world's greatest fashion designer or something like that, and he wants only his creations to be worn by the rest of the world, so he wants to blow up all the clothing on Earth. This is really stupid. So there's several of these nude bombs planted all over the place, and I don't remember how it all works out because I got so bored by the end of it. I used to really like the TV show Get Smart, but this movie didn't really, I don't think it captured the spirit of that show. It has some elements of it, but they don't use them in the proper way. Maybe it's because there's no laugh track on it. I don't know, so it seems really weird, and the timing and the direction of the comedic lines that are being delivered don't seem to jive, you know? Like something like, say, the Zucker Brothers. Airplane, coincidentally, came out that same year, and it's all about timing on those jokes. I mean, there are some jokes in the Nude Bomb that are, they could be almost as funny as Airplane. Well, I guess not contemporary enough to be as funny as something like Airplane. I mean, they really tried with this movie, but in other ways, it seems like they didn't try. They tried to make something different from its source material, and I didn't like that. I mean, I like Don Adams in that role. I mean, Don Adams is always funny. I mean, he's got a funny voice. He's a funny actor. And for whatever reason, I always used to get him mixed up with Don Knotts. I mean, I know they're not the same guy, but just their names, you know. But I always have to remember, okay, Don Adams is the Inspector Gadget guy. But Don Knotts is basically he's a living cartoon character. Anyway, yeah, Don Adams is okay. There's a couple okay jokes, but this movie just really fell flat for me. I have to give the Nude Bomb a D+. Oh man, it was a chore to get through this. It was so boring, and just so many lame attempts at humor. It was funny how many times I didn't laugh, that they were trying to make me laugh. It was just a bad comedy. I mean, for something that's calling back to something really old, you'd think there'd be nostalgic feelings in there somewhere, but no, there wasn't. I never did see this in a theater. I never really worried about not seeing it. I was like, okay, it exists. But I saw it on the thrift store shelf and I felt sorry for it, I guess. And I guess I wanted a movie that I could just pick apart and say was terrible. I gotta run the whole full spectrum of the A to F thing here, right? They can't all be A's or C pluses or B's. Yeah, it's a bad comedy. And it gets a D+.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, so check it out next time. I'm not sure what the movie's going to be next time. You never know. It's a shot in the dark most times. And until the next video, have a good one, everybody.